We are one amazing human anatomy, and it is good and reasonable to talk about our one anatomy. We are one fascinating body with many parts. The reason why the clitoris and Christianity is a joy is because the marvelous and secret part of our body that's especially wonderful, the clitoris, the part that gets big and strong on the inside of the woman and feels really grand. That is one of the most secret and special parts of the whole human body. A man's nose is not as unusual and fascinating. Our little fingers are not as special and unusual and fascinating. And as the clitoris and Christianity unfolds, one of the most fascinating things is the choice for people to walk single like Jesus in their entire lives, to have more experiences, to have more power from the Spirit to heal and to discern troubles and to go and serve suffering people. Saying no to our own comforts and pleasures to actually help somebody else is a fascinating thing. Now you can say it's unhealthy not to have your pleasure experiences. And you can argue all day long and you can think about that and you can say you need a regular pleasure experience or not. But the main thing is you are either in a marriage promise or you are in a singleness. And if you're in a singleness, how are you going to cope? How are you going to stay comfortable? And the most marvelous thing in some ways for a man, understand this, the man gift, the marvelous, fascinating man gift is very interesting because together you can observe it being small and getting big. And that's really neat. That's really interesting. But the woman, you can't observe. It's a secret thing on the inside. So that makes it almost the most fascinating and important thing to a discerning man. A man, a woman who looks at a male human being can see that he has become aroused, excited. He has a beautiful big stiffy. But when a man looks at a woman, he only knows really from her eyes and her expression that she is, that her wonderful treasure is excited, big, and ready on the inside. Now that's interesting, that's fascinating. And some people would say, oh, you shouldn't talk about this stuff. But if you are going to walk single like Jesus, then it's important for you to check in with other people who are walking single like Jesus and say, hey, are you doing okay? Are you going crazy? Are you having hungriness? Are you having mental problems, etc., etc.? And just checking in on each other and finding out how we're doing in our singleness. One of the goals of life is to be content in our singleness, even when you're a married person. You have to go through periods of time when you can't have the comfort and the intimacy of your person. And this is something that nobody discussed the mechanics and details with me. And these are basic human things. This is something that never changes, does not change. So the wiser a young person or child is about these basic things, the more they can stay away from bad spirits, getting caught in longings and pleasures and obsessions. And this is just the reality of C&C, the clitoris and Christianity. I was more interested in making sure that a woman feels wonderful than I was interested in the goodies inside of Christianity, which is there's an invisible friend, and there's supernatural powers given, and there's special people that the invisible friend sends to us, and there's a set of teachings for the human family that we are actually going to be judged or evaluated by after our lives are over. Remember that. Three things. The three gifts from the supernatural visitor are the Holy Spirit and power. Power to heal, power to discern and kick out spirits, power to raise the dead, power to speak properly about eternal things that will always last. And then the second thing is the teachings. And then the third thing is special people that are sent. I hope I can be a special person to you and give you a few tidbits of things that you had not thought about, or some links to things that you can study about. Peace be with you. Don't be afraid. You are a beautiful, powerful person, and we're called to be cheerful, kind parents to each other with a tender, caring, Mr. Rogers kind of way of dealing with every type of issue and every type of problem. Don't respond with anger and bitterness. If a person comes to you with anger and bitterness, respond to them with patience and fascination and caring. I hope I can do that. I didn't do that well today. But I hope you can do well. When somebody treats you poorly, I hope that you can treat them with by connecting with them and saying, "Hey, I see what you're feeling. Let's think about this." I hope you can not react to the bitterness, but rather respond with care and a comforting attitude. And wisdom, plenty of wisdom.